What's up, guys? It's Troy with the Weber Kettle Club. I was supposed to cook dinner tonight and I totally forgot to do all the planning. So I went to the grocery store a few minutes ago and I picked up some steaks and some potatoes. So tonight is going to be a quick weeknight steak night. So for our ribeyes, I got the right one seasoned up with this Big Papa's Double Secret steak rub. The one on the left is seasoned up with just salt and pepper. For the potatoes, I did a Hasselbacks cut. I put the potato here between the cutting boards, use the knife to cut a bunch of thin slices in them, like this. And then I season them with Cavender's all-purpose Greek seasoning. This stuff is fantastic. Tonight I'm using the Crate and Barrel Green Performer. Here's the steaks I got over here and the potatoes. Ooh, that's a hot handle. Handle is supposed to be anti-heat. It's anti-touch. Mother bitch. That's a hot grill. Alright, here's our fire setup. I got a really hot bed of mesquite lump in the slow and sear. The slow and sear pretty much always lives in my grill nowadays. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put these potatoes on right there so these can cook a little bit faster. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna set my steaks on indirect. No oil or anything. There's lots of fat in these ribeyes, so I'm not too much worried about them sticking. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna let these cook indirect until my steaks come up to temperature, and then I'll flip the steaks over the fire and give them some color. So it's been about 10 or 15 minutes now. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna check the temperature. So our steaks are right around 100. 115. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and sear these steaks now. I like them a little crusty, and this one's gonna be oh so crusty. And move the potatoes closer to the fire just to get a little more. How's that for hot handle? I'm closing the grill because all of that beef fat is dripping down into the coals and producing the most amazing smoke flavor you can get from a grill. I want that smoke blessing my potatoes, I want it blessing my steaks, and more importantly, I want it filling the neighborhood with that beefy, smoky goodness. Enjoy that, neighbors. Oh yeah, that's always a good sign right there. The plume of beef fat smoke. Just about lost a grill handle, or a grill lid. Gonna give these steaks a quarter turn just to get a nice thick crust on there. I don't really care about grill marks, but to get them, it's a nice little bonus. These potatoes usually take about 45 minutes, and I put them on at the same time as the steak, so I need to make them cook a little quicker to make sure they're done. Tricks from the one-handed griller. Actually, do have two hands. The steak with a thick layer of salt hardly had any crust when I flipped it, so I decided not to flip the steak with the Double Secret steak rub at all because I want that one to have a really nice thick crust. It looks a little black here, but it's a nice tasty crust. At this point, these steaks are done, but I was so happy with my one-handed lid flipping skills with my tongs that I just kept on going. Sorry for some of the shoddy camera work here. The smell was honestly so damn good that I forgot I was even holding the camera. The potatoes aren't quite done yet, but the steaks, The Thermapen comes in real handy for checking our steaks. Perfect, nice and overdone. That's me being a sarcastic bitch because I overcooked my steaks. Okay, our steaks are inside resting. Need to let the steaks rest for about 10-15 minutes. I'm gonna brush these potatoes with some melted butter, which I've seasoned. This is supposed to be softened, but I melted it a little hard. So I seasoned it with the same seasoning that's on the potatoes, which is that Greek seasoning, and then I have some grated Parmigiano Reggiano. So I'm gonna brush these with some butter. Careful not to splash butter in the flames because that shit goes woof. See? The nice thing about these potatoes is they're easy to season throughout. There we go. Season these potatoes with this nice buttery Just using a silicone brush. Very handy to have around in the kitchen, around the grill. Be nice if I had one with a longer handle, but in reality, this one works just fine. Same thing with those thermometers. You know, it's nice to have the steak thermometers that trigger you when your steak's at the right temperature, but it's also nice to know your grill, to learn the pit temperature, to learn how long different foods take at different pit temperatures, and just have a better understanding of how food works on the grill. I'm putting a thick layer of the Parmigiano Reggiano cheese on here. It'll melt down and actually crisp up. You could use cheddar or any other cheese, or even bacon or prosciutto. Get creative. Fresh herbs. Lots of things you can do with these Hasselbacks. Just make sure to give them 30 or 45 minutes to roast. They're done when they're tender. Alright, our potatoes are done. Or at least they're done enough to align with my hunger. So we're going to go ahead and try to get this off in one piece. I don't think it's going to happen. There we go. It's still attached. Lost a little slice down there. Slice there. Chef's neck. Just kidding. I learned my lesson. Alright, here's our steak and potato. The potato is perfect. The steak is a little overcooked, but it's delicious, and it's Tuesday.